This looks like, oh, I had a slight interruption there. So this looks like I'm going to spontaneously continue this video. This is now going to be part 2. It was part 1, but it looks like the internet guys interrupted me and uploaded the first half of my video before I can finish what would be really one entire video. Anyway, back to what I was saying. With these positionings, headbutts, strikes, what have you, this also includes the comprehensive wrestling and grappling and submission grappling skills, which were largely lost. They weren't, or they're not part of the commercial teaching. There includes the biting, tearing, hair pulling, eye gouging, which are crucial and consistent parts of all fighting systems of Mantu. The Mantu arts are referred to all of the collective African fighting systems in and out of Africa. This also includes the torques and the twists, the wrist locks, ankle locks, knee bars, etc., so forth, and the unique application of force through transition and forcing the opponent to carry your body weight in areas and on parts of the body which cannot carry your body weight. So this is again shows where the use of acrobatic movements, tumbling type movements, movements that you see is apply all the times in sports and in NBA, NFL, those type of things. Those movements actually came from Kipura. Those movements were not taught to us by coaches who were promoting that whatever particular sport, because they didn't know those techniques, but we did. So we saw the opportunity to apply them, drawn from our Kipura, which was embedded into each one of us individually and our collective communities worldwide. And for those of you who want to know where I got that information from, or how to research that a little bit further, I recommend that you start studying the work of cultural anthropologists who unveil this type of thing and delve deeply into it. And you might even want to start with Nestor CAPOEIRA, who decades ago was the first person I read who actually unveiled historical and scientific, hello, how you doing? Hey, methods and techniques to utilize as tools to present this in a scientific way, present that which I already knew from having lived it and seen it all throughout my community and all African communities I've seen, which even as a child I've seen, it was universal. We expected that from all black people, period. Even if you didn't speak English, you knew this. You knew what we're talking about here. Yeah, you can go ahead and research that, if that's what you want to do. Anyway, I want to focus a bit more on 52 or what have you. I actually had a direct experience and expression and extensive teaching along those lines, but it wasn't East Coast 52. It was actually from my cousin Badar. My cousin Badar had been dealing with some things, and he came back from prison when I was a kid. I was like 10, and he started teaching me a method of fighting that he said he didn't really put a name on it. He was using a lot of boxing type techniques, which of course all of boxing is part of the hand skills of Kipura, and all kinds of other systems which are part of Kipura or kin to Kipura, like Dambe in Africa. So he showed me all kinds of movements, boxing. He had their knees and their tackles and their low kicks and wrestling type movements in it. But he didn't put a name on it. What he said was, this is how you fight when you're on that chain gang. So me being a little kid, I started calling it chain gang fighting, because that was the only term that I associated, hey, what's up, with those skills. But those skills were also very, very, very similar to that which I was already learning from Uncle Bobby. They were almost indistinguishable, except there was a heavier emphasis upon closer quarters battle, and there was a heavier emphasis upon the use of tackles and driving type motions that would drive a person off, off of you, off balance, and striking them when off balance, taking them down, breaking their base when off balance, sweeping. There's a heavier emphasis of sweeping and leg tackles and stuff like that, and tripping. There was a heavier emphasis upon street versions of wrestling type throws and judo type throws. There's a heavier emphasis upon that. There was not a heavier emphasis upon elbows and knees. Uncle Bobby throwing them elbows and knees. But there was a heavier emphasis on headbutts. There's more headbutts into it. So the tools were different, but the tactics of the priority and persistence of application were different. Were different. So the tools were the same. I didn't learn anything new as far as the tools are concerned, but the tactics of them, the application of them, etc., so on and so forth, this was different. And you'll see this also in the various flavors of 52 that you see now. You know, you go and see the big names in 52. In my opinion, they're all worthy of respect. And you know, and what I would suggest, you know, this is just an idea, but what I would suggest is, you know, learning all those skills and integrate them into one. But be honest as to where you got it and respect it. Don't do with stuff like the Kizzy fighting method is done. People from the Kizzy fighting method, they learn 52 blocks, all right? And instead of giving 52 blocks is credit as being the source of their training method, they just basically ran off with it. I mean, and they made big money off of it. The first Batman movies, you saw him using 52 Kizzy, the Kizzy fighting method. He was using 52 blocks. That was 52 blocks. The elbows, the headbutts, the knees, the kicks, the slams, the throws. That was 52. But, you know, they co-opted it, added a little extra stuff to it, which really just made it more akin to rock, a Jailhouse rock, which is pretty much the same thing as 52 blocks. There are some significant differences, but they're not so different that you can't tell the difference. I mean, that you can't say, okay, you know what, these aren't directly related. So that's basically what happened with KFM, and that's what they're doing with Kipura, with cardio capoeira. They are culturally misappropriating it again, and we can't let these type of things happen, because not only is it terrible for our community, it's terrible for humanity. It's yet another travesty, you know, inflicted upon the entirety of humanity by hiding and misappropriating and lying about the human saga, the human history, that from which we come from, so that we know where we are today and what we need to do tomorrow. Okay, what are some other technical differences between 52 and okay, well, Njia Uhuru Kipura has a whole lot more straight up ground techniques, not just low fighting, which, let me emphasize, low fighting is the missing link. It is the innovation. It is that which really separates us from everybody else. Njia Uhuru Kipura, masterful low fighters, incredible standing fighters, incredible ground grapplers, but they're low fighters too. And we are low fighters too. We're incredible at it. We're the best I've ever seen. And I'm not being arrogant. We are. It's just the truth. We are the best I've ever seen. And the addition to that skill set is monstrously beneficial. It's massive. It's huge. It's the kind of, those of you who were, say, strikers and learned grappling, like those of you who say you were kickboxers and you learned wrestling and jiu-jitsu, your kickboxing got way better because you weren't worried about missing, etc., so on and so forth, and you knew new skill sets, new methods to enter and apply skill sets which are complementary to your striking, and vice versa. So and that goes the other way too. If you are a wrestler, a Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy, if you're a Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy and you learn wrestling, oh man, now you're hot on your feet now. You can get it in. You can apply your grappling skills standing, whereas you couldn't before. Wrestlers would annihilate you guys standing up. It was a bad day for you guys standing up, and they could dictate where the conflict went, standing on the ground, because there's such masters keeping their feet and taking people off of theirs. And then let's say you added striking to that. Usually they learn boxing first, because it takes a while for grapplers to get off of their feet, throw kicks. That's what usually happens. Not everybody is Frankie the Answer Edgar, who's my dude. I love that guy. You know, right? So what my point is, as you learn comprehensive complementary skills, you drastically magnify your skill sets in those areas, your ability to perform. This is what Njia Uhuru Kipura has done. We are we have added low fighting and level changing for real to the skill sets. We've always had these skills. They're common to the African fighting systems. I really don't know why it hasn't taken off, but hell, I guess it's up to us to do it, right? So that's another major difference between us and 52 blocks. 52 blocks has an extensive low fighting arsenal, which, believe it or not, is part of breaking. Believe it or not, it's part of breaking. There's a lot of that stuff that's part of breaking. But WARS is absolutely all the way down to the ground, not just low. We'll take you all the way down to the ground and get it in, and not just grapple there, but also apply skills that will allow you to say, if you're under fire, see these cars here? If you're under fire, we can get you all the way up under the car because of the position. Now, if you doubt me, think of the mkaososi, which you miscall the negativa, and then imagine something happening. All right, and you have to assume cover. You want to ducking under here and hitting the mkaososi. You can actually fit a significant portion of your body right up under there because of the extension of the legs, turning the flat. You know, you turn right, you'll be flat right up under that joint. You'll be flat right up under here. You know, those of you who don't know the positions I'm talking about, look at my videos. Mkao Asoshi, MKAO space OSOOSI, and you can also find it under MKAO space OXOSI. In cardio capoeira, Mkao Shoshi, which means the posture of a shoshi, or shoshi's orisha, the hunter, you know, the lawman, the protector of justice and law and righteousness. They completely, totally screw it up, miss all the information and knowledge, etc., so forth, and they call it negativa. There are multiple different versions of negativa, but the moment I say negativa, you know what I'm talking about. And the moment those, even cardio capoeira heads will know what I'm talking about. And then you take a look-see at this again and see, hey, can I hit the negativa under? Yes, you can. You can hit the negativa right up under here. You can hit it right on line. Yes, you can. You can do it. It's easy. I did it when as a little kid when I was like 4. I didn't even know. I wasn't even training in Njia Uhuru Kipura. I was just doing it when we were playing ditch and hide go seek. It's easy to do. It's easy to do. So yeah, that's one of the other differences. What else? What are the differences there besides the ground? That's massive, by the way. Well, let's see. We are a comprehensive weapon system. All right. Njia Uhuru Kipura is a comprehensive weapon system. 52 blocks. Also, hello. 52 blocks also has weapons, but those weapons are oriented toward, unfortunately, the environment that they're in, which was the penal systems, right? The penitentiary, etc., so on and so forth. So, yeah, that's pretty much about it. Okay, that's enough. We'll go on to other stuff. What I need you to do is subscribe to my video here. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now I get a little over 1 million views per month. But over 99% of you don't subscribe. I need you to subscribe. If you even half of you subscribe, we'd be the largest internet source for Kipura/Capoeira in the world. Nobody would even be close. So please go ahead and subscribe, share on Facebook with like-minded individuals. If you like it, your friends will like it. Share it with them. All right? Go to my website, googlesites.com/ATACX Street Warrior Capoeira. Buy the ebooks, buy the instructionals there. There's nowhere else in the world where this information exists. All right? So and of course, hit that like button, hit the notification bell so you know whenever I drop another one of these fly videos, you know, and drop your comments, man. You know, let me know what you think. All right, my sisters and brothers, take care of yourselves. Asante sana, amani, ashe.